the first of two home fixtures, saw a magnificently entertaining game as we welcomed and subsequently defeated Farsley Celtic at the York Community Stadium. We then hosted Hereford in a wet and windy affair where the double Ds of Donaldson and Dyson scored before, on the 91st minute, Haynes for Hereford got himself sent off. And with the game catch-up out the way, we have arrived here in the transfer screen. Now, my big head is actually covering the names of the players, but as you can see, we have brought in 3 new players in on loan. All of them not paying a single penny of wage, which is absolutely brilliant. The first one is Joe Crow. Joe Crow is from Glentorian, and he is a 23-year-old Northern Irish 3 under 21 cap player, valued between 20,000 and 210, so quite a bit of variety there. 3-star potential. He's a bit of cover everywhere. He covers central midfield, he covers centre back, and he covers that right hand side of defence. Very good player, can play all of them quite well, as you can see. His crossing does lack a little bit as a wing back, but in terms of his centre back role, he's not too bad, as you can see. Can play that quite well. Positioning is his weakest point in that, on a 6, and as a ball winning defender, he is practically perfect in every single way, besides of course that positioning yet again. In terms of his history, we're going to go over this quite quickly. So he was starting at Plunkett in Northern Ireland. He then went to Norwich. He was there for quite a bit before going out on loan to Limerick to actually get some game time. He then went on a free transfer to Linfield, where he only played 5 times in 2 seasons. Went on a free to Glentorian, played 18 games, then 22, then 7, then 3 in this current season. In fact, I was going to say previous, but it's the current 21-22 season. Made 3 appearances, got a 6.9 thus far. So hopefully he's going to add a nice bit of depth to the squad. Currently, I think I've got him as a backup on the bench. He's just going to allow us to not have to worry about injuries so much. The next one, though, is a starter for sure. I haven't got him down as a starter. I think I brought him in as a squad player, maybe an impact sub, and that is Neil O'Keefe, or Keffy O'Keefe, I'm going with, Waterford. He is Irish, 20 years of age. He's got no caps, not for the main team, not for the youngsters, but he's 3.5-star, 4, potentially 5. His dribbling isn't the greatest, I will say that for sure, but we are actually going to use him as a playmaker. So as a playmaker, deep line playmaker, put him on support. As you can see, he's not too bad. His composure is a little bit on the weak side, but if we can get that sorted, then he's going to be amazing. In terms of his history, well, he's been at Watford for his entire career. First in the First Division, then in the Premier Division, where he didn't play for a couple of seasons, but he's had 10 and 20 in the past couple of seasons. Even got himself a goal and a couple of assists in the last one. So he's a nice little addition to the squad in central midfield. And then we have Max Drake. Yes, we have brought Drake into the club. Not the Drake you'd probably be hoping for, but he is from Aldershot, and well, he's a 19-year-old from New Zealand, if you don't know. He can also play on that left-hand side. Yes, he hasn't quite learned it yet, but give him time, he will learn that and be a solid left back as well. In terms of his wing back position, we'll just head on over to that. As you can see, he can play it rather well in defensive, in support, and can he play it attacking? Yes, he can, although his decision is only 6, so probably not the best idea to do that. 2.5-star, 4, 5-star potential. He is more of a development player, and one which is just going to add a bit more depth on that right hand side. He comes from Forest Hill, Milford, where is he originally from, then North Shore United. He was in New Zealand for a long time, went to Phoenix Reserves, back to North Shore, then to West Coast Rangers before Aldershot found him just randomly down in New Zealand. They snapped him up on a free transfer, and then he come here on loan. So that's our 3 new additions. I don't know if you noticed it, but one of them has a bit of a knock. And speaking of knocks, a few other players do as well. So let's head on over to the medical centre. Okay, so a quick little rundown of the 5 new additions of injuries to our medical centre. First of all, of course, is O'Keefe, who we brought in on a transfer. Moderate injury, a thigh strain. He did that in his training prior to coming here, and he's with the physio for 4 weeks. Not too much to worry about. On top of that, we then have Hogan. Now he's got a severe injury. It is major, in fact, a fractured lower leg. He did that in training. He's seen the physio for 2 to 4 months. Then we have Tommy Pickles. He picked up a minor twisted knee in training yet again. Physio 5 days, not too bad. We then have Heaney. He's got a moderate injury, which is a pulled calf muscle. He did that in the match against Farsley. Physio for 2 weeks. On top of that, we then have Josh Knowles, another one we're going to miss. Fortunately, though, it is only a minor injury, a pulled groin that he did in training, seeing the physio for 6 days. But that's not all of the news. The first bit of news here in the notebook actually dates back to the previous episode. If you didn't see that one, Algar became the youngest ever Vanarama North player. He did that at the age of 16 years and 270 days, as we of course played Spennymoor. Now, on top of that, Dyson contract, I actually managed to extend that. That news will actually go into the next episode as well, where hopefully we'll have a flood of players accepting their brand new contracts. On top of that, Whitley is unhappy at Scarborough. Unfortunately, they've not been sticking with the agreed playing time, and thus he's not happy. So I had a little word with the manager. Hopefully he will now be getting the game time. They have promised us that he will now start being an important player, so we'll have to see how they get on with that. Now, on top of that, we also have the Vanarama National League North Team of the Week. We got 2 of those, and we had players in each. The first one was Mark Beck, followed by Michael Woods in the second. But it is, of course, time for today's game. So let's head the 183 miles down south to the sleepy little village of Colney Heath, and we are of course here in one of the star attractions in this little village, and that of course is the Crooked Billet Free House. But it is game time. It is time to head on over to the stadium. So without further ado, let's head on over there and let's crack on with today's FA Cup qualifier. Okay, so I don't know for sure if you can actually hear that in the background, but that title of the Sleepy Village is quite literal. If you listen quietly in the background, you might actually hear some of the residents sleeping. So I am just going to try and be a little on the quieter side. Who am I kidding? We're actually going to crack on with this as per normal. And as you can see, Max Drake on that right hand side of defence. Duckworth could have actually played in this one today, but considering we're versing a smaller club, I wanted to see how Max got on today. So he is going to be starting, and as you can see, Crow is also on the bench. So without further ado, let's stop rambling, let's head into the dressing room and let's tell the lads what we want. So I want you to pick up where you last left off. That is perfect. We shall go with that one. That works perfectly fine. We're going to skip the walkout, of course, and we're off to a nice early start here. 3 seconds in, they are trying to get a nice early goal. Doolan gets it over to Cameron here on the right hand side. Can he get anything going for Colney? Gets it over to long inside to Calvin. We should probably go attacking, to be honest. Let's change this to attacking. I know we're away from home, but we should be a much better side than them. As you can see, we've got the other FA Cup games here. We don't need match statistics again, I don't think, so let's change this one up. Let's have a look at their formation. They are going for the Flying V, as I like to call it, which is my second favourite formation, of course, to the 4-2-3-1. It's basically the inverted version of it, and thus it's why I like it. But Drake, with a free kick, plays it short to McLaughlin. It's now to Donaldson, inside to Knowles. Knowles has an overlap instead, though. He's going to give it to Ivies as he tries to pass it back. Green plays it to Bennett. Bennett tries to hoof it up. Lovely block, though. It's now fallen to Donaldson. McLaughlin will get it back. Beck, lovely through ball to Donaldson. Donaldson, can he score from this opportunity? He's kept possession in, and I think he's won a penalty. Surely Green upended him there. No, in fact, the referee said that was a perfectly good challenge, and he is going to clear it away. It's now to Ives, gets it away. Fleming will intercept it and not down for right, though. Now Dyson, Ollie Dyson on this left-hand side, plays it over to Gibson. Now to McLaughlin. He gets the ball over the top to Dyson. Dyson, can he get a good cross in here? He whips one in. Beck, back post. Can he get... Oh, he had an opportunity. Berry will collect that one, though, here on the 13th minute. And I shall enjoy a bit of my drink. Free kick, though. And it shall be Newton to take this one. What will he do with it, though? He's gone for the back post. He's found Knowles. Oh, it's a save. Fielding cannot make use of it. And eventually, Berry will collect the ball. Now, how are the other games going? Bamber Bridge is 1-0 up against Colville. And Chester is 2-0 up away to Brightlingsea. We have Bromsgrove currently 1-0 up against Matlock. Bury Town winning 1-0, I think, against Curzon Ashton, was it? Ooh, Newton! Again, we've hit the frame of the goal. Frame of the goal is keeping us out thus far, alongside Berry, of course. But Newton will deliver a corner here. Now, can he do anything useful with it? He goes back post yet again. Beck, free header. He can't keep his header down, though. Beck, my friend, please. Also, I believe Beck's contract runs out in the January window, which is good and bad. We've got Willoughby. He can come in and replace him perfectly fine. And it would free up about 900 per week. So that's going to be pretty decent. But, of course, he is a very good striker. So I don't know what I'm going to do on the back front. I might try and keep him around for the second half of the season if I can. But, to be honest, I don't really feel like we need him. I feel like he's an expense that we don't necessarily need. Just like some of the players I haven't offered new contracts to. They're decent players. They're good players going forward. But, for instance, certain players are on £750 per week. I can get players just as good for £200, £300 per week. I don't see the purpose of keeping them around in that instance. Now, I'm not happy with performance out there. That is exactly right. I'm not. We need to do better. A few players are doing okay. Everyone on this left-hand side is looking fine. Donaldson, Dyson, you two, you did okay in the games that we caught up on, but today you are having a rough time of it. Now, right. Plays it back to Newton, over to Gibson on this left-hand side, gets it up to Dyson. Will Gibson make the overlap? No, in fact, it's a ball over the top to Beck, unfortunately, though Bennett will beat him to it. Berry now clears it away. Fielding nods it down for Wright. Donaldson, pull it back? No, it's gone forward to Dyson. Lovely through ball. Unfortunately, Beck again does not get onto the end of it, and Berry will just clear that one away. Beck, in fact, was offside, so it wouldn't have really mattered. Now, AFC Rushton, otherwise known as Rushton and Diamonds back in my day, is currently 0-0 against Warrington. St Ives 2-1 up against Bradford Park Avenue. That's an interesting game. Bury Town's made it 2-0 in fact against Curzon Ashton at the moment, and Mickleover is losing to Banbury 1-0. Enfield Town 1-0 away to Bognor Regis. Grantham is losing their game as well. Interesting couple of results at the moment. Alfreton, I don't know how you're not winning your game at the moment, but Alfreton's having a rough time as well. So we ain't the only ones struggling to pick up a victory against a team that we should. Right, pulls it back for Newton. Donaldson now holding up possession, plays it back to Wright once more. It's now with Beck. Beck plays it over to Dyson. In fact, Donaldson will get this ball, and come on, ref. He offended him. In fact, played all the way back to Berry though. Cleared away. Gibson, lovely interception. Gets it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets it over to Josh Knowles. Now, can he do anything with it? Pulls it back for McLaughlin once more. Beck now to Knowles. Lovely triangles, but we need to do something more than just hold possession. Drake gets it over to McLaughlin. Lovely ball out to Josh. Josh whips one across. Unfortunately, though, it's cleared away. Interception by Gibson, though. Gets it to Dyson. Back to Wright once more. Donaldson near the edge of the area. Can't do anything with it. Pulls it back for McLaughlin. It's now with Josh Knowles. Knowles pulls it back for McLaughlin. Back to Knowles once more. Lovely ball up to Dyson. Can he score though? No. Berry with a beautiful save. And again, we rue another missed opportunity here. Donaldson, Knowles, Dyson. We're having a rough time with our attacking mids. We should probably take at least one of those off going forward. We are going to wait till our usual substitution time though. Right now, Dyson is having the worst of it, but he's also the fittest of those players. So that is a little bit awkward going forward. We are going to demand a bit more though. Come on lads, we do need some more going forward. We are in fact past substitution time. That almost escaped me, but thankfully I did not manage to completely ignore it. So Knowles, in fact Knowles, you're on 6.9. And we've seen you play okay over on that left-hand side. So you know what, Knowles, go over there. Be our inside forward. We're going to have Lancaster come on there. We're going to bring on Hopper for Donaldson. We're going to have a nice swap right across the board over there. So Knowles has swapped to the other side. These two are off. We can then... everyone else is playing pretty decent. Who is the most tired? So we've got tired legs with Beck and Knowles. Willoughby is a decent sub. Beck is having a good game though. 7.5. He hasn't really shown it to me, but according to the game, he's having a decent time of it. So we're not really worried about him too much at the moment. I think we'll just hold on to our third and final substitute unless we really need to use it. So 69th minute. Did that demand more go through? It did. So we're on attacking. 73. Can we pull a goal in this one? Or are we going to head back home? Beck right now is absolutely shattered. So we're going to bring on Willoughby. We're going to have a little bit more attacking prowess, hopefully, with Willoughby coming on for the tired Beck. And hopefully, Kurt can make use of this, because we've currently had 8 shots out of 21 on target, which is rather wasteful in this one. In fact, they've only had 1 shot all game. But we're going to have to try and get a late winner here. Cotton plays it up. There's less than 30 seconds remaining in this one. Cotton from the back for them. Plays it up to Allman even. He's going to play it down the left-hand side, and I think that will be the end of the game, as we have 10 seconds to try and build completely from the back with a goal kick. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and yes, the whistle has gone. That was a drab game. A very drab game indeed. Newton, though, look at that. A 9.1 best performer. But I called this a sleepy village. And our performance was reflective of that. A rather sleepy performance from us. But we are going to be straight back into the action as we play our next game against Darlington in the league. I thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely night and goodbye.